Bristol City travel to Carrow Road on Wednesday evening to take on top of the table Norwich City. Today I'm joined by Norwich City fan Lewis to discuss everything about Wednesday night. So Lewis, how have you been finding this second lockdown? Have you been keeping well?
Yeah, thanks for having me on firstly, mate. Yeah, it's been an interesting one. It's been hard, and obviously it's hard for a lot of people. But I think the fact that football has still been able to be on can help a lot of people. Obviously, football's a way to kind of it's a really good kind of distraction, maybe a way and a form of escapism. So yeah, I've been keeping well, mate. How about yourself?
Yeah, I've been doing well. Thanks, obviously enjoying the football that's keeping us busy each week. So firstly then, Norwich City sat top of the Championships, 4 points clear of second place Swansea. So now we're coming into the second half of the season. Norwich going to be trying to get that Premier League spot come the end of the season, and maybe even the Championship trophy as well. But how have Norwich had their first half of the Championship season?
Yeah, it's been a really interesting one, mate. We came off a really bad Premier League season. It was our worst ever points tally, and we was always going to keep Daniel Farke, but there were definitely some question marks around him after the really poor season, and around our sporting director Stuart Webber for some of the recruitment. We started the season quite poorly. For the first 4 or 5 games, we were struggling a little bit, and the likes of Emi Buendia and Todd Cantwell weren't playing due to transfer speculation. But once the transfer window shut, and we managed to keep the likes of Emi Buendia and Todd Cantwell, Max Aarons, Tim Krul, which is absolutely fantastic because they've been so good for us this season. We managed to keep them, and since then we've been absolutely electric, scoring plenty of goals. But what's been so good about Norwich this season and the last time around 2 years ago is defensively we've been so much better. We've brought in Ben Gibson, who's been absolutely fantastic, and we're not quite as scoring so many goals as we were 2 years ago, but we're being clinical, we're defending really well, and over the moon with how Norwich have been so far, mate.
Yeah, so you said obviously you went up from the Championship 2 years ago, came back down last year after what was not the best Premier League. You were saying off air, your worst season in a very long time for Norwich. But you obviously ended off 2020 on up and down form release, but managed to stay top of the table coming to the new year, and you're unbeaten in the new year. Let's next talk about then. You obviously got through the FA Cup like Bristol City. Do you think Norwich and Daniel Farke are going to be looking to just get straight back up to the Premier League, not worry about FA Cups and stuff like that? Do you think definitely going to be focusing on the league for Norwich come the end of this season?
Yeah, it's an interesting one. Daniel Farke, our manager, has always been spoken very highly of the Cups. Last season, we got to the FA Cup quarter-finals. We beat Tottenham in the round of 16 for a dramatic penalty shootout. One of my best away days. So Daniel Farke really does take the cup competition seriously, but I still imagine we will be playing a lot of our fringe players, a lot of our second choice players, just like we did against Coventry in the third round. Although saying that, the likes of Pukki and Buendia came on. But no, for us, I definitely think the league is going to be the number one priority.
Yes, definitely. I think that's going to be the same for Bristol City as well, and a lot of the teams in the Championship, because you've obviously got with COVID-19 and everything that's happening at the moment, you've got the Saturday, Tuesday games every single week. So we've definitely had a injury crisis over the Christmas period at Bristol City. So from a Norwich point of view, how is your squad coming in? Do you have a full fit squad? Any key players missing out that we could not see on Wednesday?
Yeah, Norwich City have had a lot of injuries this season. It's been a very interesting one. I think around the end of November, start of December, I think we had something crazy like 15 first team players out, and we could only field about 4 or 5 players on the bench. We was in a real injury crisis. Now we've still got plenty of injuries, but it is quite fortunate, although we've got a lot of injuries. Firstly, we've got so much squad depth, which is absolutely fantastic. We didn't quite have that squad depth 2 years ago. So we've got lots of injuries, but lots of squad depth. And we've been quite fortunate where a lot of our key players haven't been injured. So Emi Buendia is still available, Max Aarons still available, Todd Cantwell's been available. But our 2 key players who's going to be missing from this Bristol City game, I expect, are Tim Krul and Timu Pukki. Timu Pukki had a minor problem against Cardiff, so he might be back for this game, although he might need one more game's rest. And Tim Krul has been suffering from COVID. So yeah, we've got a few injuries, but Norwich City have done so well in coping, and when we have had injuries, players have come in those positions and done really well. But yeah, you completely touched on a really good point earlier, mate. There's been so many games this season, so many COVID cases. It's been absolutely crazy. So yeah, the reason I said at the start of the season, that in order to get promoted and do well in the league, one of the main things is you need a big squad to do it. And I think we've been quite lucky that we've been able to have that good squad.
Yeah, you touched on squad depth there. Norwich City obviously have one of the best squads in the Championship. Premier League standard squad, really, isn't it? You've got Pukki up top, who you said there may not feature on Wednesday, but you've obviously got Max Aarons, Todd Cantwell, Tim Krul in goal, Emi Buendia. So from a Bristol City point of view and for the rest of the Championship, who should we look out for the rest of the season, especially on Wednesday night for Norwich?
I think the number one player for me is Emi Buendia. Emi Buendia it was a very poor Premier League campaign, but Emi Buendia in glimpses showed some special things. I think he created the second or the third most chances in the entire league, which is an absolute mind-boggling stat. I think only Kevin De Bruyne and possibly Jack Grealish created more. And in the Championship this season, he's added goals to his game. I think 6 goals, 7 assists. He's created the most chances in the Championship, which is no surprise. He's been absolutely electric. And there'd be times in a game where he might give the ball away a few times, but in the Championship this season, he's created moments of magic, which has given us points. If it wasn't for Emi Buendia, I think we might even be out of the top 2. That's how important, that's how key he's been, and he's probably the number one target. But as well as that, you've got Max Aarons and Todd Cantwell, who have also put in some really good performances in recent weeks.
Yeah. So as you said, that Emi Buendia, 7 goals, 6 assists. And he's only played 21 games in the Championship for this season. That is a very, very good record for Norwich, and I expect he may add to that tally on Wednesday night. From a Bristol City point of view, then we've got some players back. Mawson come back, who came back in the new year after injury. From who's on very good form as well. So is there anyone from a Bristol City point of view that maybe with our win against Preston on Saturday that you could fear that could get on the score sheet on Wednesday night or could cause Norwich some problems?
Yeah, I think with Bristol City, they've got what I noticed about Bristol City and when we played each other early on in the season, it's just a really good, well-rounded squad, a good manager, a good philosophy, and we were exceptional the last time we played against you. But yeah, it's a really good, well-rounded squad. You started the season very well. I think you've had a couple of blips in form, maybe over kind of the recent weeks, as you said, you've had an injury crisis. But no, it's a well-rounded squad. And Alfie Mawson's someone you touched on. He was a Norwich City target, and he's a centre-back who's really, really good, can add goals to his game, a really good defender. So I'm hoping he's not fit. But no, it's a really good, well-rounded squad. And is Chris Martin fit for this game for you guys?
Oh yeah, should be. Probably expect to see from Irish Jeju and Chris Martin up top. That's what we've seen in recent weeks with Jeju and Martin on very good form.
Yeah, I've been a big fan of Chris Martin. He played at Norwich several years ago, and he almost scored against us in the reverse fixture. But no, as I said, you've got a really good, well-rounded squad coming off the back of a win, so your confidence might be building again. So yeah, I'm expecting a close and a tough game. Yeah,
definitely. Also, with the amount of games coming up, and Norwich, obviously, as I said earlier, it's at 4 points clear. Again, we spoke off air. Norwich have been one of the lucky teams who have played all their Championship games so far, the 24 of the 48. So with the teams behind you in the top 6 and just below, so you've got Bournemouth in there, Brentford, teams like that who still have games in hand. Do you think a win against a team like Bristol City, who could possibly be starting to get a bit of form, got a few games in hand, could it be important to get the 3 points on Wednesday night and then also try and get some form for yourselves in the second half of the season?
Yeah, definitely. Bristol City, as I said, it's going to be a tough game, and It's been weird actually this season. We've got the best away record in the league. We've been absolutely fantastic away from home. I think we've been so good away from home because teams like to push up a little bit. For example, the Bristol City game, you came at us, you tried to play football, and we managed to hit you on the counter attack in that game. At home, we do need to improve our home form. It is quite good, but a lot of our wins have been by very narrow margins. A lot of 1-0s, a lot of 2-1s. So going into the second half of the season, it would be nice to have more comfortable wins at home because we've been so good away from home. But yeah, definitely a really important game for Norwich, and I'm expecting another tough one. As a lot of games at Carrow Road, I'm expecting another close one.
Yeah, so you said they're on the reverse fixture at Ashton Gate, end of October going into November. Norwich City it finished 3-1 to Norwich, and I think two of their goals, maybe even all three of them, were all a long ball over the top to Timo Pukki. I think it might have been Buendia as well who put a good few balls into the box for Pukki as well. So with Pukki not playing, who could be that target man if Norwich are going to play that type of football again at Carrow Road, try and get past that Bristol City defence on Wednesday night?
Yeah, it's a tough one. Pukki's been in really good form this season. Not quite hit as many goals, but he's still been in really good form, particularly away from home. I think 9 of his 11 goals have been away from home. So our striker for the Bristol City game will be Jordan Hugill, I imagine, if it's not Pukki. Jordan Hugel's an experienced Championship striker. I think he scored 15 goals for QPR last season. Big target man. I worry if with Jordan Hugill, he's a good player. He hasn't quite got that same pace as Pukki, which is so important to our style of play. So it might be the case that maybe players like Cantwell and Buendia run off in behind. But yeah, with Jordan Hugill, he's going to be good in the air. His link-up play's been good, but hasn't quite got that same pace as Pukki, which might work in your favour.
Yeah, so we've touched on then Norwich City's point of view, Bristol City point of view, who we think could be the target men and the standout players on Wednesday night. So to end it off then, do you think Norwich will be able to get the 3 points at Carrow Road on Wednesday, or do you think Bristol City may get a rare away win at Carrow Road?
Yeah, I would like to hope so, mate. I've seen some statistics going into this game. I don't think Bristol City had the best record against Norwich, kind of head to head. So I'm hoping that doesn't turn in this game. Yeah, the last time we faced Bristol City at Carrow Road was, I think, obviously a couple of seasons ago. I went to that game. I loved it. I think it was a really entertaining game.
Yeah,
yeah, I think it was a 3-2 win to Norwich, and Kenny McLean scored a brilliant goal to win the game that day. So yeah, it's going to be another game, another important game for Norwich. I think it's going to be another close game too. And yeah, as I said earlier on, our home record isn't necessarily the best. Okay, we've been able to get the wins, but they normally are quite close games and not quite as convincing. We're not quite convincing as we are away from home. We're electric. At home, we haven't quite been able to reach those high form. But I would like to hope Norwich City can get the victory. As I said, we got an important win against Cardiff, played really well. So I'm going to say a 2-1 Norwich win. I just think with someone like Buendia, like Cantwell, who's returning to form, I think we might just have a little too much, and we'll be able to get past Bristol City. But I'm expecting a close game, and I wouldn't be surprised to see Bristol City come to Carrow Road and get a point, or maybe even get through. What do you think, mate?
I think, as you said, there's definitely going to be an entertaining game and a close game as well, as you said there as well. Bristol City, with Mawson coming back, Jesus hitting form as well, probably best form of his time at Bristol City. I reckon it will be a very close game, but as you said there, Todd Cantwell, he scored against Cardiff on the weekend. You've obviously got Buendia as well. I think it's going to be one of them games where the Norwich go and get like they did at Ashton Gate, a 3-1 win, 2-1 win, or Bristol City might just nick it. But I'm going to go with a 2-2 then, just because I think we're so close. But as you said, that either team could easily just go out and get the 3 points. So thanks for joining me on this matchday preview. Make sure to go and check out Norwich City Central. Link will be in the description. But yeah, thanks for coming on today, Lewis.
Thank you for having me on, mate. I've really enjoyed it. And let's hope for another entertaining game. The Championship is bonkers, so let's see what happens on Wednesday night.
True, right, it is. So thank you all for watching today's video. Hopefully the Reds can get a result at Carrow Road on Wednesday. As I said earlier, go and check out Norwich City Central, drop them a subscribe, and I'll see you guys all on the next one. Hopefully the Reds can get the win. Come on, you Reds!